Anderson, thank you so much. I am Laura Coates, and this is CNN Tonight. And listen, I want to be upfront with you. We're doing something different tonight, something, frankly, that's extremely difficult. But we truly believe that it's important to do. You know, there's a tendency to want to turn our eyes from what is difficult, a tendency to just want to move on. It's human nature. I understand, and believe me, I understand that. And sometimes the news does require a shift in focus. But just because the cameras leave a location doesn't mean the quest for information has ended, or that the trauma has ended, or that if we simply close our eyes, that it can't happen, or it won't happen. This is especially true when we're talking about the pandemic of gun violence and the indiscriminate nature of mass shootings. None of us want it to ever happen again. But the it is complex. It's very multifaceted. And how do we get there to where it doesn't happen again without full transparency, without staying on the story? Well, we can't. So that's why tonight we're going to be playing the full 77-minute surveillance video from the Uvalde school massacre in real time. You might be asking why we're doing this. 3 reasons. First, and most importantly, because the families of the 19 beautiful children and those 2 brave teachers who were killed on May 24th, they deserve answers. The survivors deserve answers. The entire community deserves answers. And we can't put the right questions to the police who responded or the local and state governments until we confront head on exactly what happened. And the second reason why, we know that you've seen parts of this agonizing video, maybe 30-second clips here, maybe a minute there, the bits with the most action, so to speak. But it is actually the lack of action that speaks volumes about the response. I mean, minutes pass and an entire hour and nothing happens. And I'm left wondering, you're left wondering how and why and what does it really mean? And that leads to our third reason to play it. To help improve law enforcement's response nationwide to mass shootings going forward. Because we all know it's a sad truth that a shooter might target a school again. Columbine, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Parkland, and now Uvalde. And there may be more. So what can police learn from what happened here? And to wrestle with those questions and much more, I'm joined by crime and justice correspondent Shimon Prokupecz, who's been on the ground in Uvalde since this happened, and he's joining us here today. And 2 CNN senior law enforcement analysts, former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and former Philadelphia Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey. Now, sometimes we're going to be talking as the video is playing and giving reporting and context and analysis, and sometimes we're going to be silent just to listen to what is happening. But here's an overview of what you're going to see. And please don't look away. We'll see the gunman enter the school. You're going to see in real time, minute by minute, how heavily armed and some heavily shielded officers spent all that time outside the door to those adjoining classrooms. You should also prepare yourself, because we will play the sounds of the gunshots ringing out. Now, that has not been played on CNN before. We initially didn't air the audio of the gunman firing out of respect for the victims' families, and we still maintain that respect. And I understand that's incredibly painful for them, and the last thing we would ever, that anyone would ever want to do is to compound their grief. But the video, which was obtained by the Austin American-Statesman, was published in full on the paper's website several days ago. And because it has been in the public sphere, because the officer's response was informed by that gunfire, we are choosing to leave it in for a full and accurate accounting of what happened. Now, here's what you will not see and you will not hear. You will not hear the children screaming. That was edited out by the Austin American-Statesman because it's too graphic. I mean, can you think of anything more painful to hear? But while we won't tonight be hearing those painful sounds, remember the officers there, they could hear. There was no editing out of that moment. You also won't see the face of a child who was walking in the hall when the gunman entered, who then turned and ran away. The student's face was blurred to protect his identity. We're going to play that video in just a moment, but first I want to go around the table and I want to ask each of our esteemed panelists here who are the right people to have this discussion on a night like this. I want to know, what is the one thing that you want our viewers to keep in mind over the next 1 hour and 17 minutes? There were several minutes, as you all know, and thinking about what's going on, I'm wondering from each of you, what are you going to look for? And we all know how difficult this is for the audience, for the viewers, for the families, and the necessity of having to really be in this moment and have the opportunity to help explain the inexplicable, frankly. But what are you going to be looking for? Shimon, you have been on the ground. You have been, and by the way, you have been unbelievably crucial. I hope you understand that it is not taken lightly, that we know how difficult it is, and for you to be there day in and day out, you are an ally, and you have been so professional, and you have been devoted, which is what we knew you would be.
Well, thank you, Laura. And the support from certainly the network has been incredible. And so, being there, just from the first minutes that I got there on the ground, I knew something just didn't make sense. The timeline didn't make sense. A lot of things we weren't getting answers to just didn't make sense. And then looking at this video, and the more I look at this video, for me, the thing is the first moments of this. The minute the officers, yes, the gunman gets into the school, and he's in there for a long time, and he gets in there so easily. He's just able to walk right in. And he's in there for so long, and the officers, those first few minutes when they get inside, and what we see there, and them retreating, that to me has been one of the most painful things to see, and it's been one of the most crucial things to see, because right there, sort of, you get this feeling that they just gave up. They didn't know what to do, and they gave up.
What do you guys think? I mean, you are so in law enforcement. Unfortunately, you have seen more than most people will ever see in a lifetime combined exponentially. What are you looking for, Commissioner Ramsey?
Well, the one thing that I think the public ought to know is that the actions of the officers really aren't consistent with active shooter training. Don't think that this is what is being trained around the country, because it's not. Now, the first few minutes of the officers after they arrive, what they do is consistent with the training, but after that, there's absolutely nothing taking place. And I think it's important for people to keep that in mind, that that is not a reflection of law enforcement across the country. It just isn't.
Andy?
Laura, there are so many notes. There's so many things that as you go through the torture of watching this entire video, there are so many things that jump out to people like Commissioner Ramsey and I. But the thing that really stuns me is we shouldn't even be getting to that. It's all superfluous. The biggest mistakes were made in the first 3 to 5 minutes. None of what follows should ever have happened if the initial response had been consistent with active shooter training and the entry had been made at that point. So it's tough to watch.
We're going to watch it, and we're going to hone in on all those points, because there were several minutes that were captured on video before the gunman even entered the school. Surveillance camera shows him crashing a truck just outside the property and firing at 2 people who were approaching him, who quickly ran for cover and who, thankfully, are okay. Then crossing the parking lot of Robb Elementary School. When the shooter started spraying bullets outside the school, a teacher actually called 911 while shouting at children to take shelter inside of their classrooms. And here was that frantic call.
I can't see him now. I cannot see him. No, all I saw was the target. He's all standing. He's shooting. Why haven't they said anything when the kids are coming? The kids are running. Oh my God. Get in your room. Get
And then at 11:33 a.m. local time in Uvalde, Texas, the gunman enters Robb Elementary School. We're going to take a short break now, but we're going to keep the video and the clock running. And for full transparency, I will describe what happened in those few minutes that went by that you did not see while we are in break. Remember, this is 77 minutes in all. Think about that as we go into a break. Those moments that you aren't seeing, those police officers, they're still in that hallway. Be right back.